Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde. Today, I am bringing you day one of full Bears training camp practice 2022 at Halas Hall with fans. There was a lot to be seen today. A lot of reporters were there. A lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of nothing was going on. So, it's a typical first day of camp. You weren't expecting big hits. You weren't expecting big plays. Guys were getting their mojo together. Guys were getting back together, shaking up, having a good time. And that's what really happened during the 90-minute practice today. But Insider's got all the information that you guys want to hear. So here we are to bring it to you. But before we hit on it, we'd like to thank today's sponsor, Unbound Coffee Company. Unbound Coffee Company delivers high-end coffee and best coffee-related t-shirts in the business to your door with free shipping on all orders. And the best part is, for every item that Unbound Coffee Company you buy, they donate $2 to a charity or nonprofit of your choice. Use promo code JSHY to get 15% off your first order, or sign up with a subscription and get an additional 10% off along with using our code JSHY for 25% off your first order and a donation to your favorite nonprofit. That is 25% off your first order. Go to the link in the description for Unbound Coffee and start living unbound today. So, a lot of news came out of camp today. Nothing crazy from a play perspective. Nothing really from Justin Fields that we've heard so far. It is 12:33 p.m. Central Time on July 27th, 2022. So let's just kind of hit on the big notes from today. Topic number one, Roquan Smith was placed on the physically unable to perform list. You might see PUP all over Twitter. If you were to see it anywhere, he was placed on that. Many believe that this is due to him avoiding fines from the NFL for holding in practice. That means that he's not actually physically participating in drills, but he is at Halas Hall talking to coaches, talking to other players, but he's not really doing anything. This could result in fines, but a classy move by the Bears front office, if this is true, in order to keep him from avoiding fines. That's why he was placed on the PUP list. But Matt Eberflus did not comment at first on the subject of why, but then later said, quote, "He is in a good spot. We had a nice conversation." So obviously Smith is in communication with the coaching staff, Ryan Poles, and Ryan Poles is part of the front office, but Matt Eberflus and company, Alan Williams, sounds like they're having good conversations and that things are going well so far. He said that everyone, and then on top of that, Coach Eberflus said that everyone that participated yesterday in the conditioning test did pass. The reason why that Smith did not pass that technically is that he did not participate. Again, working around loopholes, doing what you got to do. Classy move by the Bears so Roquan doesn't get fined. Hopefully that'll help with the contract incentive. Very interesting workaround, but it is what it is with Roquan Smith. He's there. He's not holding out. He is showing up and showing that he is a leader. Hopefully his contract situation gets figured out very soon. The next big topic of the day is that Robert Quinn did practice with the Chicago Bears. He did go to his conditioning test and physical yesterday, and then he did participate in practice today. The 31-year-old edge, coming off the single season of breaking the Bears' single season sack record with 18.5 sacks in 2021, is in the third year of his $72 million contract with the Chicago Bears. In his first year, wasn't so good. He had 15 games with 13 starts, only 3 forced fumbles, 2 sacks, and 20 tackles, with 6 quarterback hits. But then this past season, the dude came out on a whole new level. 16 games, 16 starts, 4 first fumbles, 18.5 sacks. Again, Bears single season record, beating out Richard Dent, one of the GOATs. 49 tackles, 22 of those being quarterback hits, 17 tackles for loss, and just unbelievable stats. Love what he brought last year. What a turnaround. Really won over the fans. But he is on the wrong side of 30, and he still is a trade candidate for big capital. He shows out at camp, shows what he can do. He shows his value to other teams that are going to be potentially scouting him out. So could be good for the Bears getting capital-wise. Could be good for him potentially going to a contender. But he is a Chicago Bear, and he is participating, so we're happy to hear that. Next, this is the big subject that I want to hit on today, is the offensive line. Obviously a big topic of conversation over the last couple of days with the new signings of a few veteran linemen. But here's some information from the starting crew that was out there today running with the ones. Larry Borom was at right tackle. Braxton Jones was at left tackle, and Sam Mustphier. Again, Sam Mustphier struggled last year at center for the Chicago Bears, trying to get his feet back. A lot of fans aren't happy with him. Started at right guard. So that means that Lucas Patrick is likely at center and Cody Whitehair is at left guard. Interesting combination, especially after signing veterans. And then Riley Riff, who got work in at left tackle, did not participate in any team drills. So little interesting. Riley Riff did say he prefers left tackle if he were to be a starter or when he does play in Chicago. But if he has to play right tackle, he will do it. But he does prefer to play left tackle. I agree. Stick with the guy at his original position, and he will do. That's muscle memory right there. And then other notable player activities that I want to hit on really quickly. Al-Qaeda Muhammad participated after not coming to a single OTA. I don't really like that. I like when guys show up, at least from an incentive standpoint, whether they get a bonus, at least you're there. At least you're getting used to House Hall. At least you're showing. He didn't show up to one. Matt Eberflus worked with him last year in Indianapolis. So I'm sure they had a conversation about that, but he's got to definitely earn the respect of players that might not know him too well. So stay tuned for that. Eddie Jackson was spotted being a punt returner today, but he hasn't been a punt returner since his time at Alabama, which he was very good at. So Bears could be moving him around, trying him back at his original position. Roquan Smith, back to him really fast, was spotted on the exercise bike only today and spotted entering meetings. Again, this sounds like a hold in instead of a hold out, and he's on the PUP list. So that means that he is likely going to avoid fines for now. All players, this was a cool little touch that I wanted to call out, is that all players have their last names on their practice jerseys. Haven't seen this before from the Chicago Bears, at least. But it's a new touch that Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus are bringing to the team. It's pretty cool, not going to lie. Those guys, even if they don't end up making the roster, they can put that up in their trophy case in their homes and be like, hey, I once was a Chicago Bear. Once you're a Bear, even whether you're on the practice squad or not, you were a Chicago Bear. That's pretty cool. I'd hang that up, and you get to keep that forever as a memory of your football journey. Thought that was a nice touch. There was no pads today. Again, first big practice of 2022. Probably won't get into pads till closer to, Bears Family Day, which is on August 9th. Don't want to miss that, so stay tuned. But I don't really see anything like that happening. And then finally, Coach Eberflus made something really, really cool today. He made a really cool quote for Bear fan that you should be pumped about. There was a clip of him yelling, "Can't live soft if you play hard." Love that. Love the mentality from our new head coach. Need that. It's better than BU. Let's just put that out there. We all know who said that last time. And then on top of it, finally, N'Keal Harris, the new wide receiver from New England that the Bears picked up a couple of weeks ago, was talked to by reporters and said that he loves being a Chicago Bear. He loves the fresh start that he's gotten so far with this franchise, and that so far he's been used mainly as a blocking tight end, but he loves it. Good story ahead for this guy. I hope that everyone really stays in. We're going to be covering him all season if he does make this roster. And likely he will, because the Bears did use draft capital. We all know Ryan Poles loves his draft picks. So good story ahead, but good news overall. Checking Twitter one last time for you guys. This is a cool little touch that we're just learning about, is Michael Schofield, the newest Chicago Bear from Oak Park, has just said that his first Bears jersey growing up was Marty Booker. He also had a Kyle Orton jersey. That's so weird, because I will never forget when my uncle stood in line. My parents couldn't do it because there wasn't a Dick's Sporting Goods close to our house at the time. Now there is, of course. But my uncle, I'm not going to say his name, but my uncle stood in line at 4 a.m. on Black Friday to get me a Kyle Orton jersey. It was the only thing I wanted for Christmas that year. It was back in 2000. I want to say it was like 2007, 2008. It's when Orton started playing again, and he actually got it for me. It was awesome. I loved that jersey. I'm very thankful for that. But whenever I think of Kyle Orton, I always think of that. And by the way, he wasn't a bad quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Would rather have him played in the Super Bowl over Sexy Rexy. But anyway, thank you very much for joining this updated day of training camp for the Chicago Bears. Again, we will be updating you guys all off-season long on all different practices. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you follow us on our social media, where we will have more information there. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, and we'll see you guys next time.